You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Friday the 5th of December, 2025. It is 74 days after the fall equinox. It is 16 days before the winter solstice. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 15th day of Frimaire, the day of the chevreuil, the roe deer. The sun rises today at 7:05 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 11:46 a.m. The sun sets today at 4:28 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 4:59 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 5:33 p.m. The length of daytime today is 1 minute 3 seconds shorter than yesterday. The moon is in its waning gibbous phase and is 99% full at midday. The third quarter will arrive on Thursday, the 11th of December. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the wee hours, low tide, 3:31 a.m., minus 6 centimeters. In the morning, high tide, 10 a.m., 1 meter 92. In the afternoon, low tide, 4:20 p.m., minus 18 centimeters. At night, high tide, 10:36 p.m., 1 meter 49. In our shared realm of plants and animals, December is the beginning of mating season for our local red foxes. Red foxes have been present on our continent for perhaps 130,000 years. Their Latin name is Vulpes vulpes. They prefer rather open land, so are highly adapted to the disturbed, deforested landscapes human development has created. They can be found in Alley Pond Park in eastern Queens. Mating season continues into February. The young, known as kits, are born after about 12 weeks of gestation. Female foxes are charmingly referred to as vixen. Mostly nocturnal, they are sometimes seen during the daylight hours. We are reminded not to let them become used to humans, so if we see them, we are advised to make ourselves large, wave our arms, and shout to warn them away. Commemorations. Failed experiments. On this day in 1933, the 21st Amendment to the United States Constitution was ratified. The nationwide era of the prohibition of alcohol came to an end. Environmental disasters. On this day in 1952, the Great Smog in London, England, began. A temperature inversion in the atmosphere trapped cold air under a layer of warmer air. The smoke from coal heating settled on the city in a dense fog, blocking daylight. Visibility was only a few meters, and much of the city was forced to shut down for 4 full days. As many as 4,000 people perished from the severely polluted air. On this day in 1955, the American Federation of Labor and the Congress of Industrial Organizations merged. The AFL-CIO became the largest federation of trade unions in the United States. The 1950s was the height of the union movement, with almost a third of non-agricultural workers as members. Now, only 10% of American workers belong to a union, and in the private sector, the number is just 6%. In New York State, however, 20.6% of the workforce is unionized, but Hawaii has the highest rate in the nation, at 24.1%. In the Carolinas, by contrast, the rate is just 2%. Today is the birthday of Walt Disney, born in 1901. Today we remember Little Richard, born this day in 1932. He has been called the architect of rock and roll, with his charismatic stage persona. Fast-paced music with a strong backbeat set the markers rock and roll would grow from. His work would also inspire developments in funk and soul. He once said, "Elvis may be the king of rock and roll, but I am the queen." Remember Little Richard today. We also remember Joan Didion, born this day in 1934. One of the pioneers of new journalism, she brought a novelist's sensibility to her reportage. She is remembered for such books as Slouching Towards Bethlehem, a series of essays exploring the hippie subculture of the 1960s, and The Year of Magical Thinking, a reflection on her response to the deaths of both her husband and daughter in rapid succession. Remember this original and thoughtful writer today. And that is the Observatory, Friday the 5th of December, 2025.